They was not scared of Suge Knight. They was terrified of Suge Knight. Terrified to death.
Marion Hugh Suge Knight Jr., aka Sugar Bear, is one of the central figures in gangster rap success, which dates back to the 1990s. The former co-founder of Death Row Records is one to never obey rules, and believe me when I tell you, this man is always involved in high-profiling crime, even the greatest assassination in rap history, Tupac Shakur. If you think these new rappers are scary, wait till you see what Suge Knight did to the big rap dogs in the industry back in his day. Keep watching till the end of this video to see why rappers were really scared of Suge Knight. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Suge Knight's involvement in Tupac and Biggie Small's deaths. The most talked about deaths in the rap industry, the assassination of Tupac and Biggie in 1996 and 1997 respectively, had Suge Knight's name all over it. Not because he did it directly, but because many people think that he paid blood gang members to kill the notorious B.I.G. And I bet you're wondering why. You see, on the day that Tupac was shot and killed, Suge was driving the vehicle, and Tupac was with him. Some hours before the murder, Suge and Tupac had assaulted Orlando Anderson, a member of the Crips gang, a rival to Suge. However, after the assault, Tupac and Suge went to Mike Tyson's boxing match. It was on their way back from this event that tragedy struck. While Tupac received 6 bullets that killed him, Suge escaped unhurt. Many believed that Suge had taken out Tupac due to some shady politicking happening in Death Row Records, but he went on to claim that it was Biggie Smalls, aka the notorious B.I.G., who put out the hit that killed Tupac. After several months, Biggie ended up getting killed in a drive-by shooting, and guess who everyone accused? Suge Knight. It was believed that Biggie's assassination was a retaliation for Tupac's death, and that Suge Knight ordered his goons to kill Biggie in 1997. Even though Suge was locked up when Biggie died, he's known to be so dangerous that he could even order a hit from behind bars. Now you tell me, why won't rappers fear for their lives around Suge Knight, the biggest rap bully? Suge Knight is a violent bully. Suge Knight grew up in Compton. We all know how it is in Compton, it's strictly ghetto. So it shouldn't be a surprise that one of the biggest bullies in the rap industry was from Compton. Suge was a star footballer at Linwood High School, after which he went to the University of Nevada. Who would have thought that the football star would turn out to be notorious? Well, being a member of the Blood Street gangs at that age should have been the first hint. He grew up around shootings and a lot of gang activities. This lifestyle soon followed Suge into the rap industry, and in no time, Suge started treating rappers like he'd treat his street op. This one time, Suge dealt with rapper Vanilla Ice, who refused to pay royalties to Marion Johnson, who was a ghostwriter and at the time had written the song Ice Ice Baby for him. Suge Knight almost threw him down the balcony. Vanilla Ice paid him back his money, but never admitted that he got beat up. Why wouldn't rappers be scared of someone who didn't care about gender and wouldn't hesitate to assault a woman? In a documentary live from Death Row, the label's photographer, Simone Green, recounted how Suge assaulted her, while his crew members held her down. This happened after Suge called a meeting about the receptionist who was busy selling marijuana at the front desk, but blamed it all on Simone. Simone, however, claimed that he apologized years later. If that frightens you, then you wouldn't want to hear what Corrupt had to say about how Suge Knight treated those who worked for him and what he made them do. In an interview, Corrupt revealed how Suge made all his workers pee in a bucket, and whenever they messed up, they had to drink it. He said Suge would be like, "Drink the piss, or I whoop for real," and they really did drink it. Suge frequently got into public fights, many of which were recorded on camera. The man never backed down from a fight, even when it happened over the smallest things. Back in 2014, Suge was caught on camera assaulting an employee from a pot shop simply because the employee said he couldn't enter the facility. Suge didn't have his medical marijuana card on him that day, so the employee was only following protocol. Sadly, Suge doesn't speak protocol. He proceeded to give the employee a whooping of a lifetime. The employee pressed charges against Suge. Suge Knight's long criminal history. Suge Knight's criminal history is so freaking long. I mean, where do I even start? This man's records go way back, I'm talking 1987. And guess what? It wasn't even a gang hit or a rap feud that got him locked up the first time. He got locked up for hitting a woman. Suge took Halloween horror to a different level after hitting his girlfriend and chopping off her ponytail on the streets of Compton. By the early 90s, Suge frequented jail cells like they were his own bedroom. He was arrested in October 1992 for allegedly stealing a vehicle and firing at the driver. Of course, the driver pressed charges, and Suge was charged with grand theft auto and attempted murder. But with a good lawyer on his side, he entered a guilty plea to a misdemeanor offense and was given a 2 years probation. But that same year, Suge went on to assault 2 rappers. Suge stripped them naked and beat the life out of them at his Hollywood recording studio, thereby breaking the terms of his probation. In 1995, he pleaded no contest and was sentenced to 5 years probation. But Suge violated his probation period again, and this time around he fetched himself a 9-year sentence. On the night of Tupac's death in 1996, Suge and Tupac, alongside some crew members, assaulted Orlando Anderson, a Crips gang member. Suge claimed they only beat him up because they avoided a violent beatdown for themselves. 3 hours after that event, they were attacked. While Tupac ended up dead, Suge came out with grazed bullet wounds. Surviving the gang attack didn't mean he would escape from the feds. He was arrested for assaulting Orlando Anderson. In February 1997, Suge was sentenced to 9 years imprisonment. After serving 5 years, the rap mogul was released in 2001, but was soon arrested again for moving to Malibu without informing his parole officer in 2002. The arrests kept on coming year after year. In 2012, he was arrested for driving with a suspended license and possession of marijuana. He was again placed on 2 years of unsupervised probation. And in 2014, he was sued by Dr. Dre for unpaid royalties involving some $3.5 million. The same year, Suge survived a 6-bullet wound attack at the West Hollywood pre-MTV VMA party hosted by Chris Brown. Suge managed to get himself to the hospital and had surgery. That same year, Suge was detained in Las Vegas for second-degree robbery and operating a vehicle when his license was suspended. Suge Knight and Cat Williams were allegedly responsible for taking a camera and inflicting minor injuries on the unlucky photographer in a Beverly Hills robbery. In 2015, he was arrested in connection with a fatal hit-and-run accident that claimed one man's life, Terry Carter. Suge Knight ran Carter over while trying to flee from an attack at a hamburger joint. He was detained on suspicion of premeditated murder. Suge is currently serving a 28-year prison sentence. That's the end of today's video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe for more content. Thanks.